Truth Consultech, synergizing transformation.
Formation of that company, there are two mottos. We have started in electric vehicle industry with the long vision. Next 100 years we will work in electric vehicle industry. But for leading, so vehicle is in good condition. Only problem is the pollution. Means problem is the engine. So if we remove the engine and put the electric motor, then that vehicle can give service next 10 years or 15 years or 5 years. So that actually it's an asset. It's an that infrastructure, that asset we can use. One thing we need to be understand, when the efficiency get raised, a revolution happens. Like if before we use the filament bulbs, efficiency rise we use tube lights, efficiency rise we use CFL, efficiency rise we use as on today LEDs. It means we consider vehicle as a family member.
As a part of our family.
We don't consider it as a tool or as a toy. If in another countries, if you see, they treat it as a tool. After 3.
Hi, this is Shirish Kulkarni, and in this platform called as HATKE platform, we have been talking to various personalities, individuals who have done different type of work. Now we have actually defined to have a focus on the future, and very, very critical element of the future is the electric vehicles, the vehicles which are driven by electric power, right? Gone are the days in which we were only thinking about ICE, internal combustion engines driven vehicles, and now we are seeing that there's a good amount of movement into this, and we will be speaking to who's who in this series of interviews, and someone who is more than 11 years in this space, who has built thought processes about electricity, electrical vehicle, its adoption, and has got this motto of not only being the first mover in this space, but also encouraging education, innovation, and also aspect of entrepreneurship. We have, Mr. Shrikant Shinde with us. Great to have you, Shrikantji, with us.
Thank you.
Namaste. And, with his thought process of moving first into this market, he has been around for last 11 years. He has got a great setup of franchises. He has got more than a couple of innovations already in place. I believe he has got number of existing model getting retrofitted, which is a very, very important market into this space. Thinking about a tricycle kind of a model that he has recently launched, couple of model which is a difficult process to get approved of AR, AI specifications through RTO. And he has been able to do that. I think it is going to be very, very interesting. And I was hearing to his thought process. It's amazing to talk to you, Shrikantji. Looking forward. Right. Starting with this as a note, whenever you start, talk about this go A1. There's some thought process behind this name also, right? Go get it, something of that sort. So what it is? Can you tell us?
It's actually the go means go ahead, and go double go means with the double speed to where on the A1 position in electric vehicle, because it's a future. So on A1 position, and .com means all together, to get all together and with the everyone's support. So actually the meaning of go A1.com is the go with double speed on A1 position with all together. So
Absolutely.
That's why our tagline is ride into the future and let's grow together.
Wonderful. Let's grow together. And you're thinking about the whole ecosystem, like right from education, where the element of acceptance, awareness is important, where you have innovation, new types of models are getting considered. And if I see the launch that you had in Nasik in 2 days back, it's about the tricycle type of a vehicle which actually got launched, and also encouraging entrepreneurship in the form of dealership and building new jobs and new entrepreneurs. I believe it's an amazing vision.
Yes, sir. Actually, from last 11 years, when we have started in the electric vehicle industry, that time there is no much awareness about the electric vehicles, and there is no support system technologies or the components availability. So we found opportunity in that. If nobody is there, then why should not us? So that's why what the struggle we have done for getting the components. If we want to get the one motor or controller, we didn't find in India, so we have to import one pieces from another country. So we found opportunity. We thought uh, we are facing challenges. Means many people are there. Those who want to do something in electric vehicle or want to do R&D or they want to develop something and they are not getting components. So we have started in 2011 with the component supply to all over India, IITs and engineering colleges for electric vehicle projects. Those are final year students are developing in colleges. So we started with that. Before that, in 2010, recently the e-rickshaw get launched in Delhi. Some people have started importing from China, and we have also found opportunity in that. So in 2011, we import one container from China, but we have made a mistake that we import to Mumbai, JNPT port. In Delhi, they get cleared in customs because of it comes in the replacement of the paddle rickshaws. So they are allowing, but in Mumbai they ask us for a certification. It's a vehicle, and we import complete vehicle. We didn't CKD form.
Security
So
form.
that container not get cleared. We spent 2.5 months. We tried for that, and then we resent that to again China. And once it reached there, then they ask for a 60% import duty again on that container. And we discussed with manufacturer. He said, I will give you 40%. So it is not beneficial. So we lost that container over there. So our first attempt in the electric vehicle industry is with the 70 lakh rupees minus. So it's our starts like after Narali Purnima, we give Naral to the sea and start new year. Like that in electric vehicle industry, we have given 70 lakh rupees Naral to the Samandar, and then we have started. Then we have started with some components. Up to 2015, we get good response in the components, and we become a EV mall. Like anybody want components from bicycle to car of electric vehicles. We are having that all components, and still 2015 we become like a EV component mall. In 2015, one product we got, it's called a hoverboard or like a Segway, if you've seen. That product, we have started manufacturing unit in China. We have formed one company. It's a Yongkan Shinde Electric Vehicle Company Limited. Formation of that company, there are two mottos. We have started in electric vehicle industry with the long vision. Next 100 years we will work in electric vehicle industry, but for leading that 100 years we should have a root level knowledge or the technology in-depth knowledge. And there is no much establishment in India. So there is the good awareness and establishment in China. So there we can get good knowledge of the processes of manufacturing and of the processes of the electric vehicle or technology. So that's why we moved to China, and then we have started manufacturing unit over there. We have established our 100% ownership company. It's a Yongkan Shinde Electric Vehicle Company Limited. It's a 100% ownership. There is no joint venture or there is no another local partner over there. From 2016 to 18, we have manufactured hoverboards in house over there. We have done domestic market over there. We have sold in India as well as Dubai, Europe, the another countries also we have export from there. In 2018, we have started hub motor manufacturing over there, and we have done hub motor manufacturing from 2018 to 19. From 19, we have decided to focus on the Indian market because still that the awareness is there. Now it was the right time to move to India for the growth and establish the entire ecosystem. So then we have focused on the more on the Indian market, and that manufacturing unit we have handed to our team, and we have given them the job work, and also with the another companies we have given them the job work, and QC and R&D we have focused.
Okay.
Then in 2019 we have started with the education, innovation and acceleration. So these three parts we have more focused, because we found that there is the electric vehicle industry is going to be a huge industry. It's a need of our. Many changes are going to be done in this industry. Automotive industry is the biggest industry, and there is no education with the education system. There is no practical platform where people or students or the mechanics or those people who are interested to work in electric vehicle industry, there is no platform. So we form that platform for all people, those who are doing the business, those who want to get the technical knowledge, those who want to innovate something in the electric vehicle industry. And then we have started the education and the R&D center. Before in Navi Mumbai, Rabale MIDC, there was the 12,000 square feet R&D center, and the EV mall is there. And in lockdown period, we have shifted that to Ahmednagar, and there now we have developed in 4-acre training center, R&D center, and all types of components are available over there. So inventory is there, R&D center is there, and the training center is there. So there anyone can come get the training. Those who want to develop something, the entire lab is there, so they can invent what they want to do, the new technologies. And we have kept our focus on the different products, different segments, and different technologies, like which the market is moving, or the internationally also what the other people are doing. We are not doing like that. So we have focused more on the conversion initially. Conversion kits or its development, still it's not happen in China also. Some kits you can find for cars and in US or Europe, but another countries, or if you see in China, there is no much conversion kits are available. We have developed for two-wheelers. Internationally, people are more focusing on the four-wheelers, but we have developed it for a two-wheeler. Initially, we have developed the hub motor in high power, 2000 watt rated power and 4000 watt peak power, according to the Indian market requirement. For initially, because we get the advantage, we know what is the mindset of user in India, what is the terrains, road conditions, climatic conditions, everything we experience here. So that's why the big advantage we get. These things Chinese companies cannot understand. So what exactly should be there for an Indian market? They are, as on today also, they are providing products like it's developed for a Chinese market and they are providing to India. But if we see from last 5 years or 10 years, there are many companies that have imported the Chinese scooters or the vehicles, but that's are not going to be successful in India, because the here we don't use the vehicles, we abuse the vehicles. Two-wheeler is made for the 2 seats, but if you see, there are many times there are the 3 seats, 4 seats. The farmers are putting the milk kettles on that. The grocery shop owner is putting the bags on that. So vehicle is the business partner now, even the two-wheeler also. So Indian vehicles which are get developed, it's with the years of experience, and that vehicles are sturdy. The spare parts are available, because aftermarket is playing big role in any vehicle success. While when we import from China, the aftermarket is not there, the spare parts are not available. They have developed all vehicles which are, even the screw is not fixing with the existing aftermarket screw, also not fixing with the Chinese scooters. So they have developed entirely different segment. So that is not going to be successful in India. So it should be a complete Indian manufactured aftermarket with the aftermarket parts or the similar parts. But overnight it will not happen. It will take some time. So that's why we are focused on the conversion. So next 5 years, the conversion business or the requirement of conversion. And government is now slowly coming out with the scrapping policy. Delhi has already implemented. Now another states are planning to implement that. So in 15 years or 20 years, the vehicle is in the good condition. Even in the, if you see in the Delhi, 8 years diesel vehicle, nothing happened to Innova within 8 years. But because of the pollution norms, they has to be scrapped.
To scrap it, yeah.
So vehicle is in good condition. Only problem is the pollution. Means problem is the engine. So if we remove the engine and put the electric motor, then that vehicle can give service next 10 years or 15 years or 5 years. So that actually it's an asset. It's an that infrastructure, that asset we can use. If we scrap that vehicle and if we rebuild that vehicle again we have to pay all taxes. Again we have to pay road tax. Again we have to pay a GST. Again the processes are there. So recosting is much than the using of the existing vehicle with the green energy. So
Right.
that's
I
why we
think
have focused more on the conversion of vehicle. So as on today, we have for two-wheelers, the Splendor, it's an RTO approved or ARA approved conversion kit. Now Activa conversion kit is there. Three-wheeler, we have developed conversion kits. Now four-wheelers conversion kits are in process. So next year we will have a approved four-wheeler conversion kits. There
wonderful.
are some good supports from the for military also they are inquiring for the conversion of their trucks into the electric, because the fuel cost is huge over there also, and they also want to reduce their fuel cost. So they also want to convert their vehicles. For buses, the like state transport, now new buses are coming with the 2 crore, 2.5 crore, 3 crore pricing is there. But with the similar performance, with the similar range, we can convert all the buses less than 1 crore rupees, including batteries. And
I
now
think
there is good initiative from government. The swappable policy is coming out, and once the swappable system and policies come out, then it will be more easy to adopt the electric vehicles to public, also for manufacturers and also for a service provider or the traders, because the major cost is the battery cost, and once
battery
it
costs.
come out, then it will be more easy.
Right. I think as you are outlining the retrofitting or realignment of the existing vehicle, which are sturdy enough for more than 5-10 years of their life, is definitely something which is interesting. The price point plays a very important role. And as for the Indian market, you see it is a new vehicle. Two-wheeler might come in a kind of a full-blown two-wheeler comes with maybe 1.4, 1.5 lakhs rupees. While the low end, maybe 25 kmph maximum speed, which is without a number plate or registration, comes maybe somewhere in 65, 85,000 rupees. But this conversion kit, as you know, as which plays a kind of a pivotal role in between. I believe it is a very interesting kind of approach you are using, and if it is breakthrough, I believe everybody is just waiting. If you are able to, and I believe to whatever details that we have, there is an early movers advantage. And early adopters also would be there who would be able to pick those things up very fast. Now, going to the problem, even if at all we do retrofitting, reconditioning, or a new vehicle, around 40% of the cost, say, of the vehicle or 50% of the kit would be the battery. And as we compare lithium ion, which is the most popular one as a model, comes pretty costly. I believe a kind of a nominal battery would come around 60,000 rupees to 50,000 rupees as a price. So, what's the way that you look at it? I mean, how you place it against the conventional types of lead acid batteries for that matter?
Yes, it's actually the very good question, because it's a common question. Everyone is are having the same question. We generally compare IC engine vehicles with the electric vehicle, and we compare electric vehicle with the conversion cost. Basically, if we understand IC engine vehicle, when we purchase the vehicle, we just purchase the vehicle. Company didn't provide the fuel. Vehicle we initial cost calculate, but if we calculate for a vehicle's 5-year life, in 5 years life, as on today, if you see the scooter, or if you go check the Activa price or the Splendor price, it goes more than 1 lakh rupees. If you consider 1 lakh rupees is the vehicle cost, and within 5 years we are spending more than 2.5 lakh rupees on the fuel, we didn't calculate. But if we calculate, the cost is more than 2 lakh rupees if you are using for a personal use, and if you are using for a commercial use, then it's more than 3 lakh rupees. So 2.5 lakh plus 1 lakh means 5-year cost is 3.5 lakh rupees. Once it's come on the electric vehicle, actually the energy provider and vehicle provider should different, which has been happen in the IC vehicle. In electric vehicle, it still remain. The vehicle provider has to provide fuel as on today. In electric vehicle, fuel is the battery. And battery, you cannot just take as everyday uses. You have to take a complete battery pack. So that complete battery pack means it's equal to your 5 years fuel. Because one battery pack's life, if we go for a lithium ion good quality batteries, it gives a minimum 1000 cycle life. So if we consider 1000 cycle life, and if it is giving the 100-kilometer range, means 1 lakh kilometer it is giving the service. And for 1 lakh kilometer running the two-wheeler, we have to spend minimum 2 to 2.5 lakh rupees. Means we are fueling at the time of purchasing vehicle, we are filling tank for 1 lakh kilometer with the electric vehicle. So that's why people are comparing this with fuel and IC engine without fuel. So that's why people are seeing the electric vehicle is more costly. But actually it's not costly. It is far cheaper than the IC vehicles. Now the difference, now slowly the government is coming out the swappable system. So battery will come out from the vehicle. And if we calculate the electric vehicle cost with the IC engine vehicle cost, the electric vehicle cost is around 50 to 60% only than the compared to the IC engine vehicle. And battery, people don't need to purchase the battery like a LPG cylinder. We are using the cylinder, we are just paying the refilling cost. Same like in battery, people have to pay charging cost. They don't need to invest on the battery. The battery is the part of the energy provider. And like in petroleum companies are providing energy for IC engines, they will come out with the battery packs now. They are the energy providers. So they will come with the battery packs. They will provide the battery. They will invest in the battery, and they will provide the energy. People will pay for a charging, or people will pay for a electricity only. So they don't need to invest in that. Actually, this time is not now much longer. Next 2 years it will get established, and from 2025 electric vehicle industry will establish smoothly in Indian market. See, as on
That's nice.
today, there is no much awareness. There is no much initiative from the big players because it's required a strong
Initial
support.
investment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
initial investment. And when every industry on the initial stage, it's played by the small players. And once they experience many things, and then big players comes with the small players experience, and with the finished product, with the good
Success rate.
technologies, with good investments, and then actually market get established.
I think that's a brilliant insight. And as we were discussing, the lead acid battery comes at around 12 rupees a watt kind of a rate.
Yeah,
While,
if we just
yeah,
calculate for our car battery, if
yeah,
today I take a battery for 12 volt 60 ampere, it goes around
mhm,
7,500 rupees. So if we
yeah,
calculate in the watt, so I am using lead acid battery 12 rupees a watt per watt,
mhm.
and its life is around 200 to 400
200 to
cycles.
400. Mhm.
If I calculate that with the lithium ion battery, its life is 1,000 cycle, means
1,000 kilometers.
almost 3 times multiple than the lead acid battery.
Right.
And now the lithium ion batteries are available with around 22 rupees per watt.
Per watt. Yes.
Yeah, if we go with the good brands also, then 22 rupees per watt is the retail price. So if we calculate 12 rupees into 3 life
Mm.
wise, it is far costlier. The lead acid battery is far costlier than the lithium ion battery, because this we are getting more life. Only we have a habit of installment. We have a habit of, as on today we require 1 liter petrol, we just fill 1 liter petrol. 95% or 97% people don't full the tank.
Right.
Today required 100 rupees petrol, they just put the 100 rupees or 200 rupees. Before it's 100, now they put the 200 or 300 rupees petrol. So it's a mindset. We cannot
Mm.
immediately change that. And this is the gap of the experience, awareness, and because of the habits, because of the practice. So it will get changed slowly, but technically if we calculate, or if we calculate as a financial calculation, then lead acid battery is far costlier than the lithium ion battery, because here we
Absolutely.
are getting 3 years more, 3 times better life. Weight is 4 times lesser.
4 times more.
Charging time is
Time
around
is
2 to 3 times lesser. So that's why, as on today, also lithium ion battery is not costlier. It is already become a cheaper than the lead acid battery. So if this
but
price is
the
continued, then also it is going to be make a revolution.
so actually we are not comparing apples to apple, as you are trying to point out. Lithium ion battery is already having less price, more triple the kind of life, instead of 200 400 cycles 1000, it actually is weighing 3 4 times less. The charging time is two-third. So
Yeah.
I believe it's a straight no-brainer that lithium ion batteries are there. Also, I was actually checking, and I heard Mr. Gadkari talking about around 85% of the lithium is getting produced in-house in India. We don't have that kind of a dependence. So I believe that's where we have started looking at electric vehicle to be completely charged and giving more than 100 and 120 and 150 kilometers as a range, which is not something that we are doing parallelly earlier in the internal combustion engines. I believe that's the kind of simple maths one can put in the head, not only for the newer vehicles, but also for something getting retrofitted, right? Now, talking about the price point, I maybe you can throw some more light, as you are an expert in that space. Still, something which is not registered, not required to be registered, of maximum kmph of 25, which is low speed vehicles, are still getting charged at minimum of 65,000 rupees to 85,000 rupees. And full blown vehicles are coming at 1.5 lakhs. Apparently, it looks like, I understand what you said already, that we have got the energy also included into that. But still, as Indian is very careful about the price point, do you see that these price points are a little bit bloated towards right hand side, some 10, 15, 20,000 rupees on the higher side, just for initial period, maybe that later on after 2 3 years that will come down? Some perspective on that.
Yeah, actually, I want to focus on the one point. The slow speed vehicle, we cannot say it's a vehicle, because norms also didn't consider it as a vehicle, or CMVR rules, it's exempted from the CMVR rules, means it's not a vehicle. So we can say it's a Chinese toy. It's a Chinese toy for teenagers, or the housewives, or the senior citizens, those who want to just travel for 10 15 kilometers. Rarely they are using the vehicles. And that type of vehicles get developed for that purpose. In China, it get popular, and there is only option, people import from China, and initially there is the scope, type approval for minimum cost. They has to get the approval. So people found the one way where we can import the vehicle and register in the slow speed and sell the vehicle. But now, if we see, the RTOs has already restricted that vehicles which are running more than 25 kilometer per hour. Actually, it's not a legal way to run that vehicle. And with the 25 kilometer per hour, then general use cannot use the vehicle, because if we go with the 25 kilometer, then far better to use the bicycle. So that's why that we cannot calculate or consider as a vehicle. As on today, the Bajaj Chetak is there. Now the TVS model is coming, already there. The Hero is coming with
Hero
the
is always there,
models.
yes.
Mahindra is coming out with some models. So these, we can calculate those vehicles with the number plates. We can calculate that vehicles as a vehicle, and we can compare, calculate, because the once it come from the big OEMs, or once it come through the approval system, or type approval system, then the vehicle, the quality, safety, everything get tested, and it's on the that level. So we, as a vehicle, as a IC vehicle comparison, or as a vehicle, we can calculate this segment. without number plate, we cannot compare or calculate, or it's like a toy or it's like a bicycle.
Fair.
You can compare with that. There are many players who will come, many will do many things, and now from test agencies also they are restricting without paddle vehicles. So there is the challenge with registering new again slow speed vehicles, approving that vehicles. So initial stage it was happen and it's good for initial stage, but now it will not happen. It's not on the actual legal way. So with the number plate vehicles, if we consider the all vehicles, the price is around as on today, IC vehicle price is around 85 to 1 lakh rupees, and electric vehicle is also including battery. It is available in 85 to 1 lakh rupees or 1.5 lakh rupees. 1.5 lakh rupees, maximum 2 lakh rupees, means 80,000 to 2 lakh rupees. In this range, all electric two wheelers are available, all segments or all type of range there are available, and there is no running cost, so it is going to be far cheaper than the IC vehicle. Second thing, IC engine we are paying the 28% GST. Electric vehicle company is not paying from their pocket, they are taking from customer. Means if on the 1 lakh rupees, if they are paying 28% GST, means the vehicle cost is actually lesser. In electric vehicle, there is the 5% GST. The margin which the IC vehicle supplier getting or trader or dealer getting almost equivalent or the little bit higher margin electric vehicle dealers are getting. The service point of view or spare part point of view. So if we compare both the segments, so electric vehicle become already cheaper than the IC engine vehicle. Only now the matter of battery price and battery, who will invest in the battery? It should not get invested by the customer. It should get invested by the energy provider. And already with the government's experience, with the industry's experience, everyone is experiencing, experimenting and understanding what is the right way. And it's on the right track now. As like last financial budget has announced for a swapping policy, and within few days the swapping policy draft will come out, and very soon it will start establishing. So within next 1 or 2 years, once the swappable systems get established, then electric vehicle will take off actually.
Right.
And actually,
I believe,
according to the industry establishment phase, 2010 to 20, it was the awareness phase. 21 to 25, it is the establishment phase. And actually, electric vehicle industry will get established after 2025. Actually, business, actually models, actually what people are looking, everything will come still 2025. Like Tata has come out with one model, then they understand what exactly the market required. Then they come out with the higher range model. Now they are competing with the high technology models. So everything is possible. Only on day one, no one knows what exactly to do. We have to do some experiments, and then we understand what exactly to do. And experiment is going to be happen on the every level, on the customer level, on the dealer level, on the manufacturer level, on the industry level, on the government level, on every level. Everyone is doing experiment now.
right. So, do you think that we have reached a level of maturity on manufacture of batteries? Are we still looking at importing, or you are seeing that there is a phase change for importing of the batteries, a dependency where the cost will be built in to be, built in to be with the import duties?
Yeah, actually, for battery also, like similarly, if I give you an example of motors, we have practiced to manufacture motors in China. So there we are manufacturing, and similar practice we have to try to do over here to start the manufacturing. But as on today, the count of sale, the requirement, that quantity is not that much. So as on today, we cannot immediately bid to the Chinese price. So for few days we have to import, and once the volume get increased, automatically it will shift over here. Like initially in mobile or electronics, the same happen. Like in Corona also, mask initially we have imported for few weeks, and then immediately we have started. Once the volume is there, and everything is possible. Same, once the count of electric vehicles or demand of the batteries or demand of the motors or demand of the components will get increased, there are a number of automotive manufacturers, vendors, the suppliers they are waiting for a count. They are waiting for a establishment. Once the count is there, the requirement is there, there are the huge investments, technology companies with the big establishments, they are waiting, and once they come in field, then everything can manufactured in India. As on today
I
also,
believe
if
the
somebody starts sale manufacturing, according to the investment and technologies and the infrastructure, then they have to wait for the profitability initially. And if they don't have that much capacity, then they will not get succeed if they want to run or grow on the profit. But once the volume is there, then somebody start, then they will come in the profit in short span.
So it's matter of both as the volumes increase, the volumes are required to be increased only by the demand. Demand requires the awareness, demand requires the experimentation, demand requires some early movers,
Yes.
experimenting, taking, buying, testing it out, maybe getting some positive, negative feedback, and then correcting all this chain, eventually leading to the volumes that we require. And that might happen over a period of next one and maybe 1.5, 2 years, I believe.
Yeah, and it's a natural process. Like when McDonald's come over here, people say, "Oh, on this price, who will eat the McDonald's?" But as on today, it's a common thing for everyone.
Wonderful. Moving to another, always talk point about swapping battery. One thing which actually simplistically is where the buyer does not have to buy the battery. The battery remains with a third party, either with the OEM or third supplier, who will take care of the complete life cycle of the battery, where it is not to be paid, only to be consumed for the charge that I will use it, that much I will pay, maybe
Yes.
150, 200 rupees. That is the model
Yes.
that we have for the swappable batteries. It requires a huge amount of strength in the vendor who is manufacturing batteries and providing the life cycle, because customer is not going to be worried about battery. He is just going to be worried about fitting that battery in that vehicle. And his life is made. Parallelly, there was a lot of talk for last 3 to 5 years about charging stations and who will bell the cat, whether it will be government, whether it will be larger companies, oil companies, petrol pumps will have stackable, charging unit, and you travel, you go through there, maybe fast charger are required. That will put a load on the complete network system. All that was debated. Do you think that the swap battery is something that is winning the race, and or both will go hand in hand, or where do you see that going?
Yeah, actually, if we compare both systems, the swappable system is far suitable for a two-wheeler and three-wheeler segment. And charging station is required for cars and trucks and buses, because making swappable system for cars, trucks and buses, it is not that much easier or immediately possible. And two-wheeler and three-wheeler doesn't require a charging station, because that gets charged on the any normal point. If you have a two-wheeler, you can charge on the 5 ampere plug anywhere, like where we can charge mobile, we can charge the two-wheeler. Two-wheeler, three-wheeler doesn't have an onboard charger, so it doesn't require the AC point. It required to point to place the charger pin. Means it has a charger. If somebody is carrying charger, they has to carry charger with them, because still I didn't see the two-wheeler, any two-wheeler or three-wheeler which have onboard charger. So all companies are providing charger separately.
Separate chargers, yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't require charging station. It required a power point. One point should be there. Okay, so there is no requirement of charging station. And for car, it required a charging station. So charging station is for a car and above, and swappable system is for a two-wheeler, three-wheeler. So swappable will get established in two-wheeler, three-wheeler segment, and for car segment, then charging infrastructure. For in car, the big companies are working, so they already have a capacity to establish charging stations on their own level. Also, government has taken an initiative. They are making charging points or the stations On every 3 kilometers in city or on highway also, they are making the huge network of the charging stations. Then the power supply companies are also supporting, because it's a good business opportunity for them to supplying power to farmer and to supplying power to electric vehicle user. Electric vehicle user can give the better cost than the subsidized supply. So it is the good opportunity to them also. So energy provider also interested in that segment. Government is taking initiative, and also the big companies like if you see, the Tata has already come out with their own charging stations. Now the another company is also coming out with their own charging stations. So every company are having their own, and also the local governments and the municipal corporations are taking initiative. If you want to take the OC for building, you should have a compulsory charging station. So it is the good move from all the side. And for cars, buses, and trucks, the charging network is getting established. For two-wheeler, three-wheeler, it doesn't require a charging station. The facility is there; they can go and charge. But if charging station is not there, they cannot do anything. It's not like that. They can charge anywhere. They require a swappable system.
Now, I think it is a good move to see that swappable batteries are indeed going to be the kind of way that we will solve two-wheeler problem. The price point will also come down, and the whole botheration about how much range that I should have. If at all we have swapping stations every 5 kilometers to 10 kilometers range, that whole worry is gone for two-wheelers and three-wheelers. I believe for the cars, definitely those charging stations, if they come from biggies like Tatas and Birlas and Ambani's, there is likely to be also price war there, and where you will see that, like Geo slashed the whole telecom prices. Some that kind of a price war would eventually benefit the customer, maybe, and also early adoption, because it helps early adoption in a large way. Eventually, the customers have to pay for it later as they enter into it, where there is a lock-in, and they will have to use that type of charging stations only. But I think that is the direction that we should look at going. Now, moving forward, I believe if we look at last 2 years, say four-wheeler sales that are happening for electric vehicle space, one of the models in Tata Nexon is a jackpot, I believe, on both sides, ICE side as well as EV side, it is the top. The next model is also from Tata's. The next model, I believe, in Mahindra Verito had been present. You will see Hyundai bringing in Kona, but that is price 24. But that is, if I look at the numbers, numbers are even 15 times higher. So if at all Tata Motors has sold 2,700, Kona sales are maybe in a range of 20 to 25 in a year, I'm talking. So are we, why are we seeing this kind of a drastic thing, and why Tatas are so, any perspective of why somebody like Tatas have been so successful, maybe currently? You have some insights on that?
Yeah. Actually, the when the industry get established, or once it is the future, and it is the firm future, because one thing we need to be understand: when the efficiency get raised, a revolution happens. Like if before we use the filament bulbs, efficiency rise, we use tube lights. Efficiency rise, we use CFL. Efficiency rise, we use, as on today, LEDs. If something come out with the higher efficiency, LEDs will gone, and that new lamps will come out. So if we compare the IC engine efficiency and the motor efficiency, so two big changes are going to be happen. Engine is going to be replaced with the motor, and the induction motors are will get to be replaced with the magnet motors or the high efficient motors. So these big revolutions are going to be happen. Everyone understand, everyone knows. Only once we do the business, many times we just think for ourselves. Sometimes we think for others, and sometimes we think for a nation. Like a Tata thinking to ahead. So So comparatively, it is going to be happen, but they are taking the lead, they are taking the initiative, and they are investing, they are experimenting. Even they are suffering with some losses or delays, everything. But still, they are not calculating as a businessman. They are calculating as a like a responsible player, and they are taking, because somebody has to be take move. If we see, there is only 1% people are the initiator.
True.
8 to 9% people are the follower, and 90% people are the blind follower. Once somebody come ahead, then he goes. That's why 8 9 people will go, because they trust on him, they follow him, he is the role model for them. 8 9, once the 8 9 people goes, then all people start following the queue, because they know now 10 people are there. Like in corona vaccination, if you see, only 1% people goes and take the vaccination with their decision. I will go and take the vaccination. Then 8 9% people say, yeah, they are alive, then we can go. And 90% people, so all 10 are alive, that's why they go and take the vaccination. So it's a
Absolutely.
natural rule. So that's why Tata has taken the initiative. They already considering not only as the business, they are considering as the they are actually proving the leadership.
Right.
This,
It's a holistic approach where not
yeah,
only that they are
actually
looking
this
at
should happen by the all the ways, but okay, somebody is doing it. It's a good thing for country.
wonderful. I think that's a great initiative where the adoption curves have got innovators, early adopters, as you were pointing out, early majority, late majority, and laggards. People get distributed maybe 20/80 as people who start in the beginning who are less, and eventually more and more people follow. I believe Tata's would have that early movers advantage in this space. And if you consider, as you were suggesting, that holistic approach, not only that how much I will earn, but the whole ecosystem is getting built,
Yes.
the whole thing is getting lifted up, and not, that will give them not only that early that they will have those charging stations, but their vehicles are being tested, and I'm happy that it's not a very cheap vehicle that they have. It's a good price point that they have, and it's built on proven technology with Jaguar Land Rover.
Yeah.
The same platform intelligently they have used for their ICE engines, which is also running good. Uh, one more point that we will come to is that the vehicles manufacturer who are established as vehicle manufacturers, and the ones who are like Olas and Aethers who are coming into picture, they don't have that kind of a handle on what ARAI demands, what kind of life cycle testing that somebody like Tata Motors, Mahindras, and Marutis have gone through. So do you think that those will have a longer run win? And Tata is already showing those signs. Is that something that you want to comment on?
Actually, Ola, if we take the example of Ola, they are the IT people, or they are expert in the app or the IT
Electronic side, yeah, more.
electronic side. They are not a automotive manufacturer. The automotive products or manufacturing of automotive and the delivering of automotive or servicing automotive, it's a complete different practice. That's why they cannot immediately establish in this segment. If they hire many people from the existing industry, still they will not have that
Experience and
experience or mindset, or the because it should come from the main source. It should come from the if they start another app, if they start with the another technology, IT technology business, they will be
they
successful.
will might be.
Yeah, but for
Because a simple, you're right, I believe a simple ARA approval with all homologation, location aspects, with all test conditions that we know, you've gone through it. I believe it's extremely tough to have for our type of model, a type of a class of vehicle. So doing it for larger life of a vehicle. Another point that I'm hearing is that electric vehicles are conventionally supposed to be 3 to 5 years life. I'm making a kind of a controversial statement. And we are seeing that we, as Indians, if we buy a vehicle, it is 10, 15, 20 years. I mean,
Yes.
I have a vehicle which is 40 years old,
Right.
still running. So, is it where that, the non-auto manufacturers might fail in the race after 3 to 5 years? It will start showing us some signs that the
Yeah.
vehicles are not running that efficient.
Yeah. If we consider the particularly Indian market, in Indian market, we treat vehicle as a Jivan Sati. It means we consider vehicle as a family member.
As a part of our family,
We
yes.
don't consider it as a tool or as a toy. If in another countries, if you see, they treat it as a tool. After 3 4 years, they just throw it and buy the another vehicle and they use
Replace
it.
it. Mm,
Yeah,
mm.
but here we treat vehicle differently. After 10 years, 15 years, also people again want to re-register it. Still many people say this is my first bike. When I get first job and I purchase this bike, this is my father's bike, I will not sell this bike. It will still remain in front of the house. So we have an emotional attachment with the vehicle. That attachment immediately we cannot detach from the emotions we cannot detach.
Perfect.
So vehicle we see with the different aspect. Once it comes, and vehicle is vehicle, it's not a toy.
Mm.
If it come like a toy and if you go and throw after 2 3 years, then it is not going to be successful. So all these electric vehicles as on today is importing or which are built on the foreign platform or which are built with the Chinese components or import from the China or technologies from the another countries, their focus is the life of 3 to 4 to 5 years maximum. They are not thinking while making chassis, while making components, this should run for 15 years. If you open today after 14, 15 years also, if we open any Indian vehicle, you will not find the rusting on chassis. Activa, if you open the panels and see, after 15 years also, you will not find rusting. You just open the any electric scooter after 1 year. So it is not in the practice that vision, then long-term durability, and it is actually in the Indian OEM's blood. It is they have already learned this with the many failures, with the years of practice. Indian market actually, as on today, in worldwide, no one can beat Indian two-wheelers and three-wheelers. No
Wonderful.
one can beat. So if we see as on today, two-wheeler and three-wheeler worldwide market is led by the Indian companies. Even Chinese still cannot make the auto like a Bajaj. They are still struggling from last 15 years. But they are not. Even the if we see the African market, before it's controlled by the Chinese players. But as on today, the entire market is controlled by the Bajaj, TVS, and all Indian players because of the quality, sturdiness, and because of the long-term durability of the vehicle. So when we say vehicle, it should be like that. People are not going to be accept, and once it is the Indian market, it is not going to be accept. People will experiment, people will try, but after 2 3 years, once they get experience, they will throw away and they will come with the base structure.
I think that's amazing view where it also supports the kind of retrofitting markets in a large way, where the vehicle is maybe 10, 12 years old and you give a birth to an electric vehicle which will run further without any taxation for 10 more years. I think it makes a case for that
Yes.
as well, right? Now, moving on to some specific area of power bikes or sports bike. And I believe there are Kabira Motors KM4000, 4.4 kilowatt hour, 120 kmph. You have torques like 110 Newton meters. Other vehicles like Torque, Revolt are R400, Open Roll, Ultraviolet. They are into market. I believe they are not long term into the way that we will see that the Yamahas and Suzukis are still waiting as we see which are truly into the sports market. So is it a kind of a whitewash? And I have seen that you also have something under the cover. One video I was seeing that you already have some power bike which is ready for launch or under development.
It's already developed and
Right. So what is your perspective? And I believe you are also waiting for some approvals or some right moment where you would like to bring that out.
yeah, actually, see the still the people have not experienced the middle range of vehicle. Still, market has experienced slow speed vehicle, speed up to 20, 30, 40 kilometer. Now there has to be experience up to 80, 90 kilometer per speed, and then the market will get established for above 100 kilometer speed range. As on today, if somebody come out with the sport bikes, they will not get that much success because still the experience is remain. Once I drive 100 kilometer per hour, then I will wait for 150. But as on today, I didn't drive 100 kilometer per hour vehicle, electric vehicle. I am just using 30, 40 or 60 kilometer vehicle. So, and if I go for directly 150 kilometer, so then it is because once you increase the speed, once you increase the power, the cost and requirement of battery, requirement of components, everything get changed. So pricing also will go more than 2.5, 3 lakh, 5 lakh. So there is the market, but starting with the new company, starting with the new infrastructure, starting with the new establishment, starting with the new technology, and then selling a few vehicles, it is not going to be possible for a new player as on today. If they have a sustaining capacity, if they have a long-term vision, then they will succeed. But if they are coming out with within 3-4 months we will earn profit, it is not going to be happen. If it happen, it done by the big players, those who have already established, those who don't have to make the another components like a pulsar. If it comes with the electric, then it is far easy for them. If the Yamaha FZ, it comes with the electric, it is far easy for them. They don't need to invest or establish anything more. Even it is far easier to them while sourcing the
It's,
engine or assembling the engine
it's
or
unestablished. It's
yeah,
matter of just getting the motor which is right,
getting the
which is
motor and fix the motor.
absolutely and have that kind of a drivetrain into the place which with a battery.
Right. So
Maybe
once
I was go
yes,
ahead.
yeah, once the established players comes with the sport bikes, they don't have any issue. But if the new player without vision come, they will get fail. If they have a good investment capacity, sustaining rather than the capacity, if they have a long-term vision and sustaining capacity, they will get success. But sport bikes will take some time. As on
It's
today,
only
commuter bikes and the middle range segment will have a good market.
it's only a matter of excitement, and I happen to have ridden some of the bikes. I ride ice bikes also. The experience is good, but it's too early to believe that
Right.
this will run longer. This is as safe as it should be for anything more than 100 kmph that I am relying my life on.
Hmm.
I believe the Yamahas and Suzukis will wait for swappable batteries to get
Yes,
established
then
at the
it
government
will
level.
be more convenient because the once it is the sport bike, the battery pack will be also required a big battery pack.
It requires high density, high power, faster charging, and it will be heavy also. I believe it could be 15 to 18 to 20 kg weight that
Yes.
it has to carry. Wonderful, but good that you have already moved in that space where some innovation is already there. And happy to see an Indian thought process on that.
Yeah, we are ready with the technology, but still we are waiting.
Good. Moving on, I believe one perspective which was important has been the new kind of sources of energy like hydrogen cell, talk about solar. Do you think that in addition to getting electricity to charge up our batteries, the other alternate fuels like hydrogen would also make impact in the markets that you are seeing where things are moving, like people are buying, or they are maybe 2 to 3 years away from us, the hydrogen fuel and the solar based. Maybe that is also expensive and some more research and establishment has to go in. What do you think?
Yeah, it will happen because source of energy, if you see, everything is going to be electrified because every base element have their own energy. Like still we are using just like a hydro to electricity, then the wind to electricity, then the all energies, the source energies we are using, converting into electric, and everything is now running on the electric. So now the vehicles and some applications are remain, they will convert into electric. So electricity is the main source of energy. So not source, but the medium of application. And it will come from the different, like a solar, it is directly from the source energy. So it will get established properly. From hydrogen to electricity and electricity to electric vehicle. It is going to be happen from hydrogen to running directly IC engine. It is quite difficult because again the efficiency issue is there, and the requirement of equipment, the material or equipment, or the requirement of the components, it's higher. So it is very easy to create electricity through hydrogen, create electricity through solar, create electricity through hydrogen can do onboard. It can happen on board. Solar, because of the efficiency of solar panels, we cannot do much on the roof solar. Yeah, onboard charging, we cannot do more than 1 kilowatt on the smaller vehicles like a car. If it's done on the truck, trains, then it is better efficiency solar will give, or better production will give. Then third thing, as on today also, we are getting electricity from the coal or the or another sources. Actually, one side we are saying we are doing the green energy revolution, and another side on the source we are burning the coal, and we are burning the another things. So rather giving any support to manufacturer, giving any support to customer, government has to focus on the solar charging stations, solar powered swappable charges, swappable systems, and they has to give the licensing, or they has to give the freedom. Don't give money also. Just give freedom to farmer, to the roadside hotel owners. They can establish their own solar plant, and they can charge the battery over there.
Wow.
And what we are paying electricity charges to the MSCB or Tata or Reliance, give that charges to that farmer. It is the next generation farming, and it will have the government can solve their problem, farmer can solve their problem, people can solve their problem. Because solar, once it put the power plant in farm, next 25 years farming get established, and while going through that road, people can stop over there, charge their vehicles, and people can stop over there and swap their batteries over there. And this will be the future, and this should happen. Then only we can say we are doing the green revolution.
Wonderful. I think that's a good perspective where instead of just talking about subsidy, and we'll come to subsidy part, but encourage the building of electrical energy using something like solar or wind energy,
Right.
which is freely available and which is truly green.
Right.
That electricity should be used where, end to end, if you see the life cycle of that electric vehicle is green. One perspective that I'm seeing that at places you'll see some central or state subsidies are there, some are not there. So some are said as 14,000 rupees for two-wheeler. Some are talking about 42,000 rupees. I mean, is it state by state different? Is kind of there is no common stand, common understanding, because it is hitting everybody and in end users. Firstly, adoption, because anything moving by, say, 40,000 rupees for something which is costing 1.4 lakhs is 30 to 40% impact on the price. So is there kind of a little bit of a confusion there?
Yeah, there are two types of subsidies. One is central subsidy and another is state subsidy. Every state has a different amount of subsidy. Like Maharashtra has, and both I have given on the battery capacity. In FAME 2, it is on the battery capacity. Per kilowatt, the central is giving around 10,000 rupees per kilowatt. So if the battery pack is 3 kilowatt, then subsidy will be 30,000 rupees. And it is around, I think, 20% of the entire vehicle cost. Maximum is the 20% of the entire vehicle cost, or the percentage I don't remember, but
Yes.
it's in the percentage. Okay, so which is, suppose 3 kilowatt battery pack is there, then 30,000, but the vehicle cost is 1 lakh rupees, then they will get 20,000. So that's why people are putting 2 kilowatt battery pack. So 20,000 is matching with the both. If the battery pack is 1.5 kilowatt, then they will get 15,000 subsidy. Okay, and for plus state, like Maharashtra is giving 5,000 per kilowatt, and Gujarat is giving 10,000 per kilowatt. So if we purchase vehicle in Gujarat, and if the battery pack is 3 kilowatt hour, and if the vehicle price is 1,50,000, so the state central will give 30,000 subsidy. Gujarat government will give 30,000 subsidy. So 1,50,000 vehicle customer is getting in 90,000. If it's same vehicle, if we purchase in Maharashtra, the central is giving 30,000 and Maharashtra is giving 15,000. So same vehicle we are getting in the 1,05,000.
I think this is amazing insight, and that's where it's key to success for a price point getting decided for anybody to buy a vehicle. Another perspective, I was trying to do a back of envelope calculation that for a two-wheeler which is having, say, 30 to 35 kilometers as average, say Activa, for a petrol, say 110 rupees per liter, we will charge around, 1 kilometer will cost us 3 rupees, around 3 rupees.
Yeah, 3.5 to 4.
3.5 to
As on
3
today,
rupees.
Activa peoples are rich peoples because they are running two-wheeler with the four-wheeler running cost.
Absolutely. So, when I was thinking about the retrofitting of a vehicle as an end user, if I just convert that, say I'm just giving some number, 70,000 rupees. If I run this vehicle, which is going to save me 3 rupees per kilometer, 60 kilometers per day, my 68,000 rupees comes back to me within 1 year.
Right.
Is that right calculation?
Yes,
I believe
yes.
that's where it is going to hit the bull's eye. For anybody to retrofit it at that particular cost, and cost of retrofitting, if it is brought to something like a 50,000 rupees, I think it's a no-brainer for anybody to adopt it in that particular market, I believe. And similar numbers on the higher range will be for four-wheelers. Kits for four-wheelers might be a little bit costly, but we'll have to see that. For them also, the calculation would be maybe 7 to 8 rupees per kilometer. Higher than that, and then that equation comes to the picture where 6 to 8 months itself we can recover cost of that particular kit, right?
Yes, maximum 1 year, or if the use is lesser than 1.5 year, 1.5 year, we get ROI of the entire cost.
Entire cost. Wonderful. One more important dimension I would like to highlight is about hybrid vehicles. Now, see, the technology has moved, and I would not call it as a blind industry, but there is a flip that we want to move from IC engines directly to electric vehicle without any compromise in between. Now, the compromise in between could be that you have petrol engine which is running, and you fit also electric vehicle enabler, which will now make the vehicle maybe higher in the weighing capacity by maybe 15 to 20%. So it will reduce both the efficiencies of IC engine as the way it runs for the range, as well as electric. But then there is no range anxiety, right? I mean, I have been running say, petrol engine for 20 years, more than 20 years, 50 years. So it is all established. I don't have any risk. But the risk might come where, it's a talk about electric vehicle battery management system not being still stable, where temperature rises and there are some instances of fire, which could be initial stray accidental conditions giving benefit of doubt without kind of cluttering the minds of the people. But do you think that a hybrid is the right approach that we should look at for this transition?
Actually, two-wheeler, three-wheeler, hybrid is not that much beneficial or not that much workable.
Okay.
For car and bigger vehicles, it required and it will be successful, because in two-wheeler, when we do a hybrid conversion or a dual mode conversion, the motor weight, battery weight, everything get added on the vehicle weight. So GVW gets increased, and the efficiency get dropped on the petrol also and on electric also. Why you want to use a hybrid vehicle, or why you want to keep the engine over there regularly? If you are traveling 60 to 80 kilometer or 100 kilometer, and in some time if you want to travel 20 or 30 kilometer more, that's why you are just carrying engine on your head.
Understand.
Sometime, anytime.
Which is probabilistic less amount of percentage that you have to carry.
And just you remove the engine, that the battery itself are giving more range of 20-30 kilometer.
Okay, makes sense. Actually, I believe by replacing the engine and all the paraphernalia there with the carburetor and silencer, everything getting removed, and electric kit getting fitted, typically say Activa vehicle is 14 to 15 kg less weight.
20 kg.
20
in
kg.
Splendor we reduce 20 kg, and in Activa it's more than 35 kg. Because Activa engine and itself, its weight is around 60 plus kg. The Splendor engine and all the engine related components, its weight is more than 40 kg, 45 kg. So once it get removed, vehicle become a lighter, the acceleration get increased, then the overall efficiency get increased.
Wonderful. I think it has been an insightful discussion. I never wanted to. We will have maybe second round with an more in-depth discussion. But it's amazing to see a journey of somebody who is kind of more than 11 years veteran in this, really done things by hand. And I'm seeing that innovator with new products coming, somebody who is ready with also bike, which will compete in the sports space. It's wonderful, hats off to your tenacity and consistency, and something that you are trying to do in education, innovation, and building that accelerated ecosystem. It has been wonderful talking to you, Shrikant ji.
Thank you, sir.
Right, and
giving me the opportunity to speak on your platform, and it's actually the good time while sharing the knowledge on that level or while discussing. So I also learned a lot from you. From the and where we get the opportunity to share our experiences, to support the people, we are always ready for that, and for that we are ready to spend our time, spend our efforts. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. I think it's a great synergy. We will definitely shake hands, and there'll be a larger perspective that you can bring in. All of our best wishes are with you, Shrikant ji, and for the mission that you are on, and wherever we will touch base, we will drive it more strongly. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks.
बिजनेस कोई भी हो, सक्सेस की नींव हम रखते हैं।
बुलंदियों को छूने की आपके अरमानों की उम्मीद जगाती जोत है, हर सपनों का हम स्रोत है।
सही स्ट्रेटेजी, परफेक्ट डिसीजन मेकिंग और बिजनेस ग्रोथ के लिए हम आपके साथ कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर आपकी स्वप्न पूर्ति करते हैं। स्त्रोत कंसल्टेक, सिनर्जाइजिंग ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन।